In this video, I'm going to show you how you can generate PDFs from Airtable data using mini-extensions. So we currently have two automations for this that fulfill slightly different use cases. So one of them would be this one, which generates PDFs from simple Airtable formulas. So this would just be used for plain text PDFs. And then we have this convert HTML to PDF automation that can use HTML code, so there's a lot more options in terms of formatting and including images and stuff like that. So let me show you examples of both of these, and we'll cover both of these in this video, and we'll have chapter markers on each, so you can skip ahead to the one you're more interested in. So let's have a look here at an example for the formula to PDF automation, which would be this one. So you can see it's just a very simple text-based PDF, but you can also see it's pulling data um, from the record. So this state here and this name are from the record, from these two fields here. And you can see if I open up the other one, there's a different name and a different date as well. So yeah, this is obviously used for just simple record keeping or yeah, very, very basic requirements, honestly, um, in terms of formatting. And you can also define the title, which is a separate field, and it goes just straight on top of the document. And then the other automation can do a lot more. It's also simple to set up, even if you don't know HTML. So let me show you an example here. Again, it's pulling the name here, and you can do formatting in many different ways. You can even include images and links, like this image here links to a different website. Um, and there's a lot of formatting options you can use here. So this is obviously quite a bit more powerful. Um, okay, and now let me show you how you can set up either of these. Um, let's start with the simple formula one. Actually, let's just clear these first so you can see how we'll generate these. And let's start with the formula one, and this is in the PDF table. So you just select the right table and hit create. And then you just need to set the field accordingly, right? So you have a field for the title, which is already set correctly, and then you have a field for the body, okay? So let's have a look at this, which is this simple formula field. So here you can see you're basically splitting up the text to insert any field values from Airtable. So essentially, you could just put just text in here. So it's the same for every record. But if you want to pull data from it, this would be an example of how you can do that. You can also just pause the video and kind of see like what the syntax is. So essentially, you just put a piece of text and then the ampersand sign, and then you put a field name, and then the ampersand sign, and then more text. You can do line breaks with this \n. That's just a new line character, basically. And you can do formatting for date and time in a certain way. And there's some options here, but as I said, it's just for plain text, right? But yeah, once you have this set up the way you want it to, um, you basically just select that field here for the body, simple formula, and then you put the output field in there as well, which is already correct here. Okay, and then we can disable test mode in this case, so it processes all the records, and we just run this. And now let's just close this. It's already created both of them, and you'll see they look exactly the same as before because it's the same data and the same setup. Okay, that's basically it for this one. Now let's get to the HTML one. Um, let's just create that one first. So for this one, we again select the same table, hit create. And now this one's even easier for the configuration. You just select an input field, which in this case is this HTML formula field, and you select the output field, which is this one. And the key to this one is to set up the HTML formula correctly. And when I open this up, it's going to look a bit overwhelming. But if you don't know HTML very well, ChatGPT is actually really good at generating this. So you could ask ChatGPT to come up with a certain HTML code, and then you could also test that code on those websites that'll basically render out HTML code, and you just paste the output from ChatGPT into those and just see what it looks like, and then you make tweaks. And that can give you a pretty good example. And then the setup is similar to the formula automation, where you also sort of split up the HTML code to then include any field names. So yeah, if you want to pause this, you can kind of see what the syntax is like. But here I'm just including one field. So you basically just have the part of the code until you want to insert a field, and then you put an ampersand, you put the field name, and you put another ampersand, and then you just continue with the rest of the code. And then if you wanted to include another field, let me just show you. You would just end the string and then ampersand, and then let's just put this deadline field in here, and then another ampersand, and then you continue the string. Um, so this would include this date here as well. The only downside to this is that by default, if you just include it like this is going to be the format. So it's pretty ugly. But let me just copy this formula from the other field, because this formats it in a specific way, so it's a bit nicer. Um, but there's different ways you can do this. So let me just replace this with this. Um, and yeah, now if I save this, you see basically what the text is going to be beforehand, and then you can kind of confirm that way if the data is presented in the right way. And then we can run this. Again, I'll turn off test mode so it processes everything. And this takes slightly longer, but in a moment we'll have both of these records here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this just takes a little bit longer because it needs to do a little bit more. But now if I open one of these up, we'll see it has the name in here, and this date just doesn't make sense obviously here, but you can see that it works. Okay. And yeah, as I said, ChatGPT can really help with this. Um, if you want to include images from your Airtable base, this one here is just a random one from our website. But if you wanted to include one from an Airtable base, we have another automation that can generate a public URL for your attachments. So you could run this first to generate a public URL for each of your attachments that you want to include, and then use this URL in the HTML code, and that way you could also just generate a PDF with images from Airtable. All right. So if you have any questions about any of this or need any help in setting this up, feel free to reach out to us and we'd be happy to assist you.